Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be doing some more Zen. So I think this is probably going to be the last Zen, like last real Zen video, at least before the Pro Quest. So I don't think we're going to change up very much here. I think the only thing I was really messing around with today was going to be basically the blue base. So what I've opted here is actually kind of a little bit of a little bit of a split from I guess what we've seen before. So I think I wasn't super high on Biting Breeze before, and same thing with Wind Chakra. I'm gonna try actually running three of each basically because these have been kind of popping up in terms of popularity, I think. And I also think that there are just like good value cards, like Biting Breeze will often just eat like 2 armor or whatever. And Wind Chakra, if you can obviously like resolve it and get it in the ideal like hand with it, right? Because I think in general you have about 6 Transcend cards that work with Wind Chakra. If you get the ideal hand with Wind Chakra, obviously it's quite good as well. So I think these are going to be the changes we're going to be testing today. It's mainly just changes to the blue base, but I feel like the reds I think are mostly the same for the most part. Like there could be some minor changes. Oh, I did also change. So one other kind of minor thing I want to try is like Blanche over Weakest Link in the sideboard, just because like Weakest Link is fine. I mean, it's not a card I'm like super crazy about, but it is like decent. So I want to try Blanche today just as like prison tech, and like as we can still run it as like flopper to Enigma. And it's like also fine to kind of play into Enigma sometimes. But yeah, that's going to be like the main changes for today. So yeah, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and get into the video. We are also going to maintain the misplay jar. I did look at the comments from the last video, so I don't think there were really any major misplays at least. So I'm going to leave the jar at 0. If I retroactively find a misplay, I will try to keep it up to date. But yeah, let's go ahead and try to grab some games. All right, so we got a Marionette. So generally like going second in a Marionette. Let's use the Marionette board. Let's see how updated this is. So we definitely want to wax on, wax offs. I think in a Marionette, I generally like running CNCs as well. Snag is good, obviously. I feel like Cosmic is unnecessary, mostly into Slippy. I feel like I board out one other card. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I think this is probably acceptable though. Running a little bit over, but I think it's probably still fine. Yeah, that seems good. Go ahead and run it. Ooh, turn 1, wax on, wax off. I think I will absolutely just play it here if given the opportunity. Do we even just do it like right now? Maybe, honestly. We at least get to hold on to the Gust Wave, which is quite nice on our turn. So in general, I feel like Slippy, or in general, Mario particularly likes to set up like a dagger flick at us. So my question here is whether or not we like wax off now. I think we just pass. If they don't give us the value, I think we're fine with that. Do I flick or do I wax off? Because if they go for the flick knives and they mark us, then it's like weird. I guess I'll see what they do in response to this. So they don't want to flick in response to that, then I guess I'll do it. It's definitely a little bit weird in terms of sequencing here, but I think it's still fine because like at most they're probably going to push like 6 extra damage if they have like CNC or whatever. If they don't have CNC, then they're like not pushing anything. So I think this is okay. All right, we do theoretically have Chase here, but I guess we're just going to take the value line of doing like Incant, Kakara, Gust Wave. I think that's fine. Looks like our opponent here is running a clean 60. I've still not seen a CYB Marionette. I don't know if that's a deck that exists. I think it doesn't, from what I understand. I don't know why, though. I guess like CYB New is also kind of down in terms of prevalence right now, I think. I haven't seen a CYB New in quite some time. Go ahead and just send basically 3 card 8, which is whatever. Not the worst thing in the world. Slightly below rate, but also just turn 1, so most of your turn 1 turns I feel like are generally quite below rate. All right, blocking with the under the trapdoor. So we did see those Den of the Spiders. that's blocks attack with greater power than its base attack. Is that what triggers that? All right, we'll be on the lookout for that. All right, very nice to see double transcend. So this feels like a tarantula toxin. I could be wrong, but there's not really a ton of reason to attack with dagger with Marionette unless you do have that card. Okay, maybe not. Interesting. So they would need a way to mark us at. They would need like a tip off or something to actually like apply a mark to us. Or maybe they're just gonna send another dagger as well. Okay, that makes sense. God, this end state's doing a buttload of work. All right, finishing on the mark. So I don't think you can play tip. I don't think there's anything that can have here that auto marks us. So I guess we'll just take the 2 damage. I think we're pre-flipping these transcends. Does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't make sense, actually. We can, like... I think we can just do it on our turn. It's, like, fine, right? So we do Kakara, double flip. We can, like, bottom a Cheetah E-Strike and still get our Chase Aspect. I think that's worth it. So pass blocks. Unfortunately, like, there's no way to, like, give us the +1 and then, like, remove it, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's really a priority to do that. I feel like I get this combo a lot of grain plus drop, but I guess it's like kind of fine. I feel like your non-targeted transcends are like so much better than these transcends very often. I gain a resource, and I guess I might as well have another. Let's grab our aspects. Yep, and then I think we're just bottoming the chi to E-Strike, draw a card. Because I think random card at this point is pretty good because we haven't seen any chi yet, so our deck should be pretty thin, or pretty, like, we're unlikely to brick off a random draw. Like, if we draw a react, we probably just, like, win. Drawing react off E-Strike is, like, stupidly strong. Fortunately, there's also no really great way to, like, space out those transcends without, like, playing Wind Chakra for one. But it seems like we're just going to clear their hand here, so happy with that. All right, let's go ahead and draw. All right, draw another E-Strike. Can't complain about that. It seems like they're just going to block out here. Maybe just send to Ardent Desire on their turn. Both are pretty reasonable. Ardent Desire is like a really good card in Marionette, I found. Seems like every time they play it, they host me, but I guess we're just going to draw wax on, wax off every game. That'll also do it. I think if they go for dagger flip, so I don't know if I'm gonna wax this on. Or I'm definitely gonna wax this on. I don't know if I'm gonna wax it off yet. If they obviously react here, I definitely will. If they react with dagger, then I'll just play both. Because they might get greedy and try to go for like go again or whatever. Alright, I'll definitely wax on and let's see what they do. Do I want to wax off as well? It's funny too. Might even be correct. Fuck it. Why not? Might as well. It's about sending a message, as I always say. We're basically like banking our react to like set it up for next turn. Do we want Incan Arsenal or do we want Chakra in Arsenal? We haven't seen. So we saw 2 targeted transcend cards, so it's actually pretty more likely. I feel like we're able to resolve Wind Chakra for like the full effect. So I guess let's just go for buff here. I think that does make sense. I think there's also maybe merit to like going Kakara into 5 redraw into a random card. I think I can also get behind that play as well. Is Wind Chakra better than a random card? I don't know if it is. I'm just gonna draw an homage and then look like a genius, but I think maybe better. Maybe a random card is better, but like, did we shuffle? I don't think we shuffled yet. So I think we're still not. I think it's still impossible. We didn't shuffle, right? No, we didn't shuffle. So I think that, we could have also gone for random card draw there. I'm actually going to see if I can undo that. I think that might actually be a better play. Oh, okay. All right, let's do Kakara into E-Strike instead, because I do think that uh, Wind Chakra is probably not better than a random Arsenal. All right, draw a card. All right, Chase is probably better to Arsenal than Wind Chakra is, so I'll definitely accept that as an upgrade. Seems like they're maybe just inclined to block out this turn since we have the Zen State out, and obviously not a real incentive to doing that. So if we kept the Wind Chakra, we actually would have been rewarded. But I still will stick by my play, I think. Alright, go ahead and just let the Clave do its thing. Could still Tarantula Toxin this, but I'm not really scared of that, I think. Alright, playing out the Codex. Makes sense. Art of Desire Body. I almost want to just throw Traverse in front of this to get a random 1 cost. And then we just send the 1 cost around, like, have a 1 cost turn Arsenal Stir. Kind of get behind that. It's a little bit greedy, but it also denies the card draw here, which doesn't matter because they have Ponder. I think that's fine. We don't want to swing weapon this turn anyway, so it's like kind of okay, I think. And otherwise, like, we're having Arsenal like a 1 cost, which is also not ideal. I don't know. I think there's like a bunch of different ways that all kind of lead to a similar kind of win result. All right, so 2 codexes out of the way, which is good information. All right, Zen State number 2. Is that Zen State number 2? Zen State number 2 is gone. Very lucky of us. Let's go ahead and grab... I think we'll just grab the one of Breed if we still have it. If we don't have a Breed, that's fine. We can just get like a random anything. Maybe I leave Breed in the deck and just get a Swipe. I guess it's like same damage, right? But Swipe is like... Or I guess like Pouncing Key even too. Just to get a Pouncing Key. I mean, like, it's literally the same exact damage as Breed, except we leave a 1 cost, which sometimes does have, like, a little bit of utility in this deck. All right, well, let's go ahead and just start with our Chase. So we're obviously still floating 1, which is fine. Like, you don't need to play a 1 cost a lot of time. I don't know, Breed has, like, weird niche scenarios where I do like having a copy still in the deck. It's not like a card I want to thin out immediately, like Pouncing Key. Because Pouncing Key has like a lot more risk to it, like where it just like can sometimes brick your later hands, but like Breed doesn't brick quite as bad, especially at like 1 copy. Alright, seems like they're gonna give a CNC there, makes sense. Well, we got a peek at their hand at the end of turn, so I'm pretty happy with this. Right, there's Toxins, 1 Toxin out of the way. Especially against any assassin, it's generally quite important to keep track of like the important threats in their deck. So like Take Up the Mantle is an important threat. I think Saber Bloodshed also maybe. I don't see Saber Bloodshed in a ton of Marionette lists, I feel like. But maybe that's not true. Maybe I do see it, maybe I just don't see it played often. Alright, take a peek at that hand, the 0 card hand. Insane, sound the alarm value. That's gonna be the clickbait for this thumbnail. For this video, rather. Let's Arsenal Stir, see what they got in Arsenal. Anything? Nothing. Okay. And then we just got the full modes on levels. Everything's going very, very well this game. Kind of a disgusting draw, but it'd be like that sometimes. And yeah, seems like they're kind of off of it. So stuck with CNC and Arsenal. Yeah, this is not like a particularly good Arakni draw, I don't think. Den of Spider is an interesting choice. So this is when it defends an attack with greater base, you get a free mark. It's pretty good. I think Lair of the Spider, so I guess they're running like 1 of each. That does make sense, I think. I like Lair of the Spider a lot just because it's like, I feel like I have a lot more go again than I do like just cards with higher power than the base. But I think like both are quite free into this deck. All right, that was a pretty good game. Let's see if we can get another Florian. So Florian is definitely, I think, people have been very, very high on Florian recently. I think for my Florian, I basically board something like this and then board out. Where's the wax offs? Or I guess we already have this out. Okay. Yeah, I basically board like this. And yeah, that seems good. I've also like somewhat considered running Snag into Florian just as like a blue sometimes 4 block if it lines up with like Plow. Don't hate it, but it's also not like super impactful, I feel like. I generally also like putting Florian on first, just because like if they give us filtering, we're obviously like very happy to block 12 on like whatever they send. And if they don't give us filtering, then we're kind of fine as well. I feel like most good Florians will not try to give filtering on turn 1. But yeah, if they're just like making a rune chant pass, like I think we're more than happy with that. I think here we're just gonna do go again into 0 for 4. Well, Arsenal sound the alarm, which is not like a crazy important arsenal or anything, but it's decent. So I'm definitely curious if this is going to be a more chant stacky version of Florian versus like the normal ones. I've seen that list pop up, but I think that one's running like the Scepter of Pain or whatever. So I think this is just normal Florian, if I had to guess. Pitched a Swarming Gloomveil, which is a card I haven't seen. I don't know if I haven't seen it a ton in Florian lists recently. But I think it typically is a Florian list. I feel like that's sometimes like an indicator of CMH, but maybe not necessarily. Seeing a lot of CMH Florian around recently as well. All right, this hand's kind of whatever. I think we're just like pitching yellow, send CNC or whatever. All right, seems like they're gonna go for the buff. Makes sense. Let's go ahead and give them a little bit of value here. Good thing about sending CNC on a 1-card hand or a 2-card hand is that you don't get to react to it. So if they're stuck with root bounds, we're obviously very happy with that. And we're obviously also immune from Purgatory here, which is quite nice. All right, Fruits of the Forest is definitely a good block for us. If they have to block like 2/2 blocks and then a piece of armor, I'm very happy with that. Seeing a lot of Cadavers tilling around recently as well. I think people were off that card for a while and then like somehow went back on. All right, so another E-Strike. Sure. I think we're still just blocking here. Player hand just like does not do anything yet. I think we're just kind of trying to buy a little bit of time while we find our Transcend. I feel like here we're just gonna go for like Kakara into Arsenal. Kakara, Sound the Alarm, Arsenal Harmony. If they Purgatory us, it's not the end of the world. We're just losing out on Ancestral Harmony, which is like not the biggest deal. All right, take a peek at that hand. So we got Plow Under, Rootbound. So I feel like a Plow Under is in our future, unfortunately. But it's still kind of okay. Definitely a little bit of a Zen low roll here. What turn are we on? So they went first. We played. This is our 3rd turn, I think. Is it our 3rd turn? I'm trying to think of what we did. So we played that as blocked. Played this, Arsenal, this. I think it's only our 3rd turn. Sometimes I get confused by the Talisha. Like, is this actually turn 4? I don't think it is. I think it's the 3rd turn we've played, if I understand correctly. All right, so unfortunately we're getting plowed here, which means we're probably losing that Arsenal. Oh, we're not getting plowed. Oh, they don't have it. Ooh, that's very nice for us. I guess they chose not to block and then they didn't have it, but I assume they were going to block and right. Okay, that makes sense. So they're going to send E-Strike plus Reaping Blade, presumably, and then we just get to fire back at with a pretty good hand. So we get Transcend online, which is obviously quite nice, and then we also just get to send pretty good damage. Huh. Closing Chain for what? Oh, for just Reaping Blade. I honestly think we might block with CNC here just so we play around Face Purgatories, because most likely we're getting a 1 cost here, right? I think that somewhat makes sense. And the 1 cost is going to come in for 6. Like, presuming we get Mauling Key, stir the pot, get 1 cost. The 1 cost will come in for 6 off Harmony, which means that it's pretty likely that they will Face Purgatory. Playing around Face Purgatory is definitely one of the tougher parts of this matchup for me. All right, banishing Transcend, obviously a little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. All right, go ahead and get that stir, and then I think we're just going full pump. 3/3, 2, 5. I am trying to also make sure I'm acknowledging the misplay jar. I feel like that last game we didn't really have any super bad misplays. I feel like I've been actually trying to play a little bit better now that I have a numerical accountability for that. I think this hand's good. I think this line is at least a little bit good. Sigil of Suffering. What are we doing here? Okay, sure. It's not a card I often see in Florian, but pretty decent sometimes. A lot less good in Florian because you don't get to draw a card off of it. But we'll still get some good value here. We're also playing around like CNC and Plow, so I don't think it's too bad. They could still be holding on to that Plow. Did they hold on to Plow? Or did they draw a random card off? What did they do off Easter egg? They buff. They might still have that Plow. I've not paid attention. But I guess it's still fine. I guess we'll find out eventually. I think this might be Plow. I feel like I should. If I was paying more attention, I think I would know this was Plow. Because they bottom a card off Easter egg, they pitched the Germany. Yeah, it's too late at night to remember what my opponent actually decided to keep there. I think it's probably too far back too. Alright, just gonna block with Tilling. Alright, so it's not Plow. Did they reveal a Sync at some point? I don't remember. Anyways, alright, let's see what their one card is, whether it's Reaping Blade or Pass. I'm assuming it's Pass. Pass makes sense. This is like pretty fine. We still haven't seen a ton of like CNCs and stuff. Haven't seen any CNCs. We saw one Plow, so they have 2 Plows, 3 CNCs left. I feel like there's definitely not a huge incentive to try to Arsenal 100 wins. I'd almost rather just like send it here, I feel like. Kind of just play through our win con here of just like redrawing into chi. I think I'm gonna play the Tiger Swipe first so we can like bait them into blocking it. And then we play the 100 wins afterwards. That's kind of why I'm sequencing it this way. Because they might think like, oh, maybe it's like +1 damage if the card in hand is like Pouncing Key or whatever. Or another swipe or whatever, but it's wild how like often Tiger Swipe does not matter. I think we had that one game, or I don't know if I kept that game, but I think I had a game earlier today where I like hit with the Tiger Swipe and was able to play out Chase the Tail. Which I feel like often does not happen, but when it does happen, it's pretty good. Alright, now we'll just send in the 100 wins here. If they have like Plow or CNC, then they obviously feel kind of bad about playing it. They have Felling, obviously it's quite good. Alright, go ahead and pass back. Ooh, very nice hand. Alright, seems like maybe we're due for a Reaping Blade turn. Still like not crazy though. Alright, so we got 4 into 3. That is fine by me. So we have 2 options here. Option 1 is we get to block Traverse, take 1, go to 25. Then we get to do Kakara plus like Chase aspect that. The alternative is we just play this, and then we do maybe open ourselves up to face Purgatory. So I feel like we should block with either one of these 2. Pouncing Pause gives us redundancy. I don't know which is correct. I feel like there's definitely something correct to do here. I honestly feel like maybe just cashing in Traverse is like fine. Get a 0 cost at the end and then just Arsenal Grain. I think that's acceptable. I think this still kind of plays around Face Purgatory. The most value they're going to get out of Face Purgatory is like 4, which is generally about the number you kind of want to be. If they're Face Purgatorying me, they're probably losing out on some tree value potentially. I don't know if that's correct. I'm thinking about it. So do 2, 1, 4, 3, 4, 4. Grain, Arsenal. Still like fine. I was thinking about blocking with the pouncing paws also. I feel like that's maybe not necessary. Alright, let's get that swipe. So they can definitely Purgatory us on the Chase the Tail if they so desire. In which case we'd probably just discard Aspect and maybe pop the Pouncing Paws, in which case we like lose a value. Like leaving Pouncing Paws up in case they send like a CNC or something I think is still kind of worth it. Alright, they are okay, so I was actually correct with them being a CMH Florian. I feel like normally it's about 50-50. I feel like I just haven't seen Gloomveil and normal Florian in quite a bit. This feels like a card I don't see very much anymore. I wonder if they're thinking about Purgatory here. Oh, maybe not. Alright, so we do get to fully resolve our turn, and then they're still only getting max 4 value on Purgatory. So I think I'm okay with this. They might just be trying to line up the CMH block with the Grasp, is my guess on the swipe, because now they have like an actual on hit they have to worry about. I think this is acceptable. But yeah, I've been seeing Florian kind of pop up on a lot of people's tier lists as like being an S tier hero. I feel like that's weird with Zen being around because I feel like the version of Florian they're talking about is like the new. It's not even a new version of Florian, but it's like I feel like the less common version of Florian that I've seen recently, which is like the more chance stacky plan. I feel like that deck just like completely folds to Zen. Like Zen State just like completely hoses that deck. I feel like. Alright, so no block with CMH here. Yeah, I wonder if they maybe just don't have Face Purgatory. Seems unlikely. Right. And then we'll finish on this swipe here. Alright, happy to get a Barkskin charge there. Definitely seems like it's not worth it to give up a full charge of Barkskin for a swipe. I feel like swipe is like the most maybe they're siding against it there. Or maybe blocking with the flourish instead so they can send CNC. Alright, we now don't have to worry about one charge of Barkskin and also Face Purgatory. I am very happy with that block. So it seems like they're maybe trying to do like Rune Chance into CNC, which we could completely blow them out if we draw another Transcend. If we don't draw another Transcend, it's also like fine though. Alright, so there's big Rune Chance, so we'll take that and then CNC coming in. What do I do with CNC? I just block it. This block seems pretty good. There's no real efficient way to use Transcend, so I think we'll just like E-Strike, put Chase back in the deck, and then try to set up for a better turn. They do get to keep Tree around one more turn, which is quite nice. Double Flourish, also interesting inclusion. But I'm kind of okay. I feel like a common misconception I still see people have about Zen is like how he doesn't block very well and he's just still an aggro deck, but like blocking 6, sending 7 is like so mid-range. Like he's really not that much of a aggro deck, I feel like. It's not like bombing your hand out like Aurora is. He's much more like back and forth, I feel like. Alright, Sigil actually like being pretty good this game. Ooh, big felling. Sure. Felling a little bit scary. So how do we want to best deal with a felling? Like grain drop, does that do anything for us? Try to think if it does. And I guess how do we do this? Well, we have the chase in the deck, so maybe we just pitch, do two. I think that works, right? We just grain, drop. We'll bottom a cheese so that we're shuffling it on the next turn. I think this works. I think it's better than going for like a Sacred Art turn. I think I'd rather just save the Sacred Art for the next turn. I think it's still fine. All right, tree's gone, so don't get any value on the back half. So I think we're just doing two, like the chase aspect line, Arsenal, Sacred Art. I think that's fine. Go down to 12 here, which is a little precarious. But they are almost out of armor. We still have all of our armor, so I think it's kind of fine. Pass back. We still have that one Barkskin charge we do have to worry about, but Grasp is gone, and then they just have Well Grounded. So they have like 5 points of armor here. I feel like the game's still definitely close. That tree did end up doing a lot of work, even if it didn't do a lot of work on the felling turn necessarily. So 2 fellings left. Still got a bunch of plows left. Definitely not out of the woods yet. Grab that chase. Nice little 4-3-4, Arsenal Sacred Art. So that should basically catch us back up in terms of life totals, assuming they don't just like chain fellings at us. Right, looks like we got some Virex here. Okay with me. We can just like force them down to 2 cards. I think we're happy. Although Florian 2-card hand's still like pretty scary. If we can force them up down off of like 2 cards, then I feel like I'd be really happy. All right, finish on the tiger. Truce is the scary card. I think I got posed by Truce earlier today off camera. And I was asking Tegan this question because Tegan's a big Truce enjoyer. Is like, how much value do you have to send out of your hand for Truce to be worth it? As in, like, I think it was into Enigma specifically. And I'm wondering, I think I had the option to basically just pass and then we each gain 3, or I have the option to send 7 and then Arsenal like Transcend card. Wonder if I'm not actually supposed to in that situation not attack it. I feel like what I ended up doing was attacking in a truce, and then it went like Scar, like a bunch of like spectrals into like a bunch of damage. I still ended up winning that game, but I don't know if that was the correct thing to do. All right, this hand's nuts, by the way. We'll go ahead and just take all of our damage here, and then we're just gonna send a huge hand, and then probably just Arsenal Transcend. I've been really liking the Wind Chakras, actually. It's a card that's like very inconsistent sometimes. I think I'm actually going to give Pouncing Paws here just so we don't die to like a random Arcane Seeds plus Grasp or whatever. And then we don't have like Transcend or whatever. I think we'll just stay at 7. Seems like a pretty healthy life total. And so we don't die to like the random hand of like they Root Bound next turn, have a blue pitch, have Arcane Seeds. Alright, so we're gonna go Wind Chakra plus that. Probably just end up getting a swipe here. Well, we'll try to conceal a bit of information if we can. Do like 4, 4, 5, 1, 4. I think it's the play. Gain a resource. Could also throw another Kakara. I feel like this just kills, and then we can guarantee the kill on the next turn. I don't think we need the extra Kakara, do we? Like, does the Kakara even get closer to killing here? Maybe it does. Let me think about that. So if we path will travel this, we gain a resource, we Kakara, we can do double chase? Do we have another chase? We do not have another chase. We do have another mauling, though. I wonder if that's still worth it. Maybe we should go for the kill here anyways. Feels a little bit suspect, but I think it's still probably correct. We have a yellow key unleashed still left in the deck. We might. Yellow key also a decent amount of damage. I mean, Tiger Swipe also forces basically the same amount of blocks. All right, so now let's do chase. We pitch 2 here. Get that, get that. I think this makes sense. We do still have the yellow unleashed, right? I'm not missing it. I think we do. I've been switching back and forth between deck lists so much that it's hard to remember like what exactly is in the public deck list versus the private deck list. All right, send in Tiger. I think we're gonna spread out the breakpoints a little bit here, so we're not like crying first and putting this to 6, because 6 is like not a very good breakpoint. I feel like 5 is a much more annoying breakpoint than 6 is. All right, throwing with the Kakara. I feel like we also maybe have the opportunity to save a Tiger here if we so desired. I don't know how necessary that is. All right, so go to 1 here. All right, let's see if we still have that Unleashed back in the deck. All right, we do have the Unleashed. Yeah, might as well go for it. I feel like Swipe is like very easily blockable with what they got going on. They can give like 2 cards to it, whereas Key Unleash probably strips basically the whole hand. Or maybe I guess they get to keep 1 card. You also pop the Pouncing Paws, which should force another card. That's kind of tempting. But I think this still forces both cards out of hand, unless they have like a 4 block randomly. But even then, we should just like win through this, I think. So if they like 4 block, well grounded, then do Reaping, I guess that's annoying. But like holding on to Tiger so we don't brick is like also very good. All right, go ahead and just pass back. All right, pretty solid hand to end the game on here. Go ahead and do, I guess, does it matter? I think like end on levels, sure. Do like, the world's kind of our oyster here. We can do like 1, 2, preserve, chase back in the deck, play chase with Pouncing Paws. Seems like they're gonna just well grounded this, which makes a lot of sense. This is also kind of representing an annoying breakpoint, I feel like. Because now they have to give like a full card to this because the 1 prevention doesn't really do much here. And then we get to end on levels for buff draw. Which definitely could whiff, but then we're at least having Chi in our next hand, so I guess we can't really complain. Alright, more prevention. A-okay with me. Make some runes. Go ahead and preserve the chase. Gain a resource. And I think now is probably the opportunity to use our pouncing. Seems just like a decent spot for it. Wait, why did they only make 1 rune chant? Is that how a Haunting Rendition works? First time you prevent damage to Sway Rune Chant token if there are 8 more cards in your... Oh, they don't have 8. That's why. Gotcha. Want to make sure I can actually read cards. Some reading practice. Also very important for the Pro Quest. I think this does work though, right? You make 2 rune chants on your turn. Seeing's the Florian player, they would know. Alright, take 1 off the Sigil, that's fine. Sigil is like surprisingly good this game just because I'm kind of a believer in no AB into Florian. I don't think it's very good. I think I just rather have the pouncing paws for consistency a lot of the time. Right, it seems like they're maybe off of it here. Then we could have Reactor. Oh, Seeds of Tomorrow is definitely not a card that blocks incredibly well. Okay, well, I think that was a pretty good one to end on. So this might actually end up being our kind of last. This might even be our last end video, depending on how the weekend goes. But yeah, we're doing the ProQuest this weekend, so there might not be some videos. But yeah, if we get any results, I'll be the first to let you know. We're still, this is like very, very similar to what I'm working on as like my personal deck list. We didn't get a chance to really test out Blanche. I think that's like one of the last things I'm testing out is like Blanche versus Weakest Link and whether or not that helps the Prism matchup at all. Because the Prism matchup, if they're on like Herald Beatdown, does feel a little rough, not gonna lie. But yeah, in general, I feel like the deck like is pretty smooth right now. I think the blue situation has improved a little bit. I'm still a little like iffy on the Incant to Biting Breeze ratio a little bit, but I think for the most part, like the blues we got going on here are kind of interesting. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it all up. So thank you all for watching. If I saw any, if you, I wasn't really paying too much attention because I'm like kind of tired tonight. But if you saw any misplays, let us know and we'll update the jar. And yeah, I think we'll have one more little meme Zen video for tomorrow. But yeah, this might end up being one of the last Zen videos on the channel. Fingers crossed, assuming that someone can LM this weekend. Yeah, but thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. And a special thank you to all the folks who decided it would be a good idea to give us $2 on Patreon. We really appreciate the support, but it's obviously never required.